Kristen turned to Mike, voice angry and trembling, asking if he saw the truth. He blamed Mike, pointing out that Natalia had called the Child Protection Services, telling them he needed foot surgery, so now they had to be He thought Natalia meant to drive them crazy. Mike excused, guessing Mrs. Murphy reported him for complaining of addiction. Kristen interrupted, saying they had no time for illness. Mike could arrive any moment. She ordered Mike to take Natalia upstairs. Obediently, Mike reached out, and Natalia sweetly asked for help, irritating Kristen slightly. A flicker of disgust crossed her face as she realized Natalia had successfully created a rift between her and Mike, who seemed completely enchanted by the little Kristen stood in the living room, presenting her perfect world to Myra, the ghostwriter for the interview, with resolute deceit. He wanted to give the kids a childhood they'd never had, one that encouraged them to chase their dreams so everyone could find their value. As Myra smiled and jotted down his word, he was there to help Kristen write a book on successful parenting, and Kristen had just signed a big publishing deal thanks to his television appearances. Just yesterday, the kid ran into the room yelling "Mom," so I quickly went to check, thinking it was his brother's toy car rolling into the street. The brother almost got struck by a car while attempting to retrieve it, causing a scene of confusion, and in the midst of this turmoil, Mike hastily arrived. Kristen questioned his whereabouts. Mike sheepishly said Mrs. Murphy's TV was out, so he stepped out briefly, guilt creeping in. Kristen retorted that could have killed someone. Myra, witnessing it, grew serious. Kristen knew she couldn't hide it anymore. So she took Myra aside, confessing that she's not a fan of hiding things, it goes against her nature, and she wasn't sure how to explain it to Mike. Their situation was tough, and Myra expressed understanding. Kristen lamented that she needed to give Natalia the best, her voice tinged with genuine pain, feeling that they took her in because they cared about the kids, yet this book should inspire parents. If the book focused on Natalia, it might hurt others, so she asked Myra not to tell her editor. Myra's response caught Kristen off guard. He had written for all sorts of people, including athletes, politicians, and billionaires. Natalia was definitely not his first secret. Myra's gaze was sharp and professional. The content of the book was up to Kristen to decide. She was the author, not Myra, not Mike, and definitely not Natalia. If that's the version Kristen wanted to portray, she needed to ensure everyone around was also on the same page, otherwise, it could backfire, leaving Kristen deep in thought. She silently assessed the situation, weighing the risks and rewards. She was no longer just a mother fighting for her kids, but more like a strategist fighting to protect her own offspring. After the incident, Kristen made a decisive move. Once Myra left, she began packing her bags. With determination, Mike asked in shock what Kristen was doing. She tersely replied she was taking the boys to Grandma's. Mike asked how long they'd be gone. Kristen said she didn't know. Mike begged to talk to Natalia first. Kristen firmly replied Natalia tried to harm the son, she wouldn't do nothing. Mike pleaded her not to. Kristen coldly stated she had always said Natalia belonged in a mental institution, and Mike emotionally countered her. He argued that you cannot justify locking someone up solely because others are suffering. Mike earnestly pleaded with Ken to help him and grant him a little more time regarding Kristen. He insisted he could fix everything, but Kristen coldly pointed out that Natalia had been with him for 2 years. Mike had his chance and made his choice. He turned to leave. Mike made one last attempt to hold her back until Kristen told Myra something about him making the impossible possible. Kristen paused and turned back to Mike, her eyes mixed with sadness and disappointment, claiming she'd only said it for the book. It wasn't true anymore. Those words hit like a final blow, shattering Mike's fantasies. He stood there, watching his wife leave with the kids, feeling a deep sense of helplessness. After Kristen and the kids arrived at her mother's house, her mother welcomed them, while Natalia sat alone. With a big interview tomorrow, Mike wanted to keep Natalia from causing chaos, but she merely hummed a tune, completely oblivious to his stress. Mike asked her to stop, saying her humming was really bothering him. He was tired and took a deep breath. Mike continued to explain this interview was crucial, pleading with Natalia to promise to behave quietly during it. Natalia sweetly promised she'd be good. Her eyes sparkled with an elusive light. Mike added just an eye. Natalia chirped about good luck for Daddy. Her voice was soft and innocent. Mike showed a glimmer of hope, thanking Natalia because if this went well, both families would return and everything would resume normal. The next day, Mike began his video interview, answering questions professionally. But midway, he was interrupted by a knock. Mike apologized and went to answer it. The TV police were at the door, asking if there had been multiple calls from this address. Mike informed them. He was in an important video interview when Natalia stood by before he finished. Mike was informed of his daughter's antics. Then, surprised, he asked if Natalia had called the police. She simply replied she craved pizza. Without a glimmer in his eyes, after the police left, the interview video dropped, and Mike felt anger and despair towards Natalia. He asked what happened. Natalia said she was hungry. Mike was disbelief, exclaiming it was ridiculous to call 911 for that. Natalia responded that she was bored. With a hint of mischief in her eyes, Mike pressed for clarification, asking if it was boredom or the pizza crave. Suddenly remembering his wife's accusations, he asked Natalia if she'd really called the child services like Mommy's. Natalia shot back, asking why she would do that, her tone suddenly calm and mature, and Mike felt a chill, reminding Natalia he had told her multiple times how crucial the interview was, unsure of how to save their home now. Natalia's reply hit like a ton of bricks. Mike stared calmly at her, telling her not to say such things. Others wouldn't take him seriously. He looked into Natalia's eyes, really seeing for the first time not the look of a child. A chill of fear crept down his spine as he realized Kristen might be right. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more hilarious moments.